Hello my lovely ravens, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel and today I'm creating a little matchbox from the TV series Stranger Things. Let's go. As always with these matchboxes, I make them myself and all the details can be found below in the description box if you want to make your own. The little white flakes fluttering in the upside down's atmosphere resemble those in the forest in Ridley Scott's fantasy film Legend from 1985. After putting the base of the box together, I'm also adding an extra back and side panels because I want to add some wooden paneling to these panels, and that is easier done outside of the matchbox and putting that together that way. So let's cut some strips for the wooden paneling. And here we have all the strips, let's glue them on the panels. Max's theme song in season 4 is Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. The frequent use of the song led it to go to #1 on the US iTunes chart in the first week of the season's release. In 1985, the song did not go higher than number 30 on the US Billboard chart. I glued 3 pieces of cardstock together, which make the middle part of the matchbox. This is going to separate the real world versus Vecna's world, or the upside down, as they call it in the series. And after adding the paneling, I can just cut off those side panels that are sticking out, and here we have the final piece for the background, and the side panels as well. Next up is some painting. I'm starting off with a base layer of black. The Duffer Brothers admit that their series is influenced and inspired by many works of fiction from the 80s. The font of the titles and the episodes is the same as many of Stephen King's books. Including the outside of the matchbox, everything is going to be black. Gaten Matarazzo, or Dustin, was the first actor to be cast in the show. Once the box is painted, I'm going to glue on the flap. I'm going to glue that on the back of the matchbox so it can wrap around and close that way. And then for the exterior of the matchbox, I'm also going to paint that black. Now that the outside is all black, I wanted to put a Stranger Things logo on the front. So I printed out the logo, put underneath that piece of paper a piece of white tracing paper, which is basically carbon paper but then white, and go over the entire logo with a pencil so it transfers onto the matchbox. Steve gets beat up in every season so far. Season 1, it's Jonathan who does it. In season 2, it's Billy. In season 3, it's the Russians. And in season 4, he's pulled into the upside down and viciously attacked by Demobats. Then with a red pencil, in this case I use a Prismacolor, I'm going over the white tracing lines to make that red pencil stand out. The death of Chrissy in season 4 episode 1 was reminiscent of Tina Gray's death in A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. To bring out all the details, I need to do some dry brushing, and I'm doing that with acrylic paint and just putting a little bit of paint on my brush, dabbing most of it off and then going over the surface. I start with white, and then over the normal area I'm going to go over with brown for the background for the paneling, and over the other side, so the upside down, I'm going to go over with red. There are several references to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. One is the forest in which the characters think that Will got lost, called Mirkwood, one of the main places in Lord of the Rings universe. Then I'm going back in with a watered down black acrylic in between all the paneling so I can bring out the details again. For now I can put in the side panels but not the background yet because I want to glue in all the little bits and pieces first before I glue that into place. And with all the little bits and pieces, I also mean Vecna's clock. Obviously, this is from season 4, and I really wanted to make a little clock for this diorama. I printed these pieces with my Cricut because it's so small and detailed, and I layer that on top of each other to create this 3D clock. The glue I'm using throughout this entire video is Gorilla Wood Glue. Now the main pieces of the clock are together. Now I just need to do the mechanism that is in the lower part of the clock. So I'm just going to take this tiny thin strip and I'm going to paint that in gold and then glue in those little pieces. And this is the clock with the outside painted brown and everything in place. Now in the series you can also see that there's a little chair in the background on the right hand side. So with the cutouts from the clock I'm going to create this chair. So there's this domed little piece and then a flat piece that can be the seat of the chair, and I'm going to layer 3 layers on top of each other to make it a little bit thicker. Then gluing all the pieces together, paint them, and that is also done for the diorama. Then I'm also going to make some trunks. I have 2 on each floor sitting on the left hand side of the diorama in the background, and there is something that can be seen in the background there, but from the reference images on Google I couldn't really make out what it was, so I went with trunks, and they're just 2 chipboard pieces glued on top of each other. And then it's time to glue everything inside the diorama. Each season takes place during a holiday. Season 1 takes place around Thanksgiving in 1983, Season 2 on Halloween in 1984, Season 3 during July 4th, 1985, and Season 4 during spring break in 1986. Once all the pieces are in place, I add some more red paint to all the pieces in the upside down to give it that more atmospheric dark effect. Then I'm going to paint some crochet thread with some brown acrylic paint just with my fingers. This is for the vines that you can see in the upside down. Once that's all painted and dry, I can glue the pieces in with wood glue. I'm just going random and making sure that all the vines wrap around the clock and the items in the room. Then for the last piece, you can also see in the reference images that there are some curtains in the background, even though all the windows are boarded off. So I'm creating these with some pieces of paper and PVA glue and water, and just crimping them up on a piece of plastic. And once they're dry, I can glue them in. So let's have a look what this looks like. And this is it for this video. I had a blast making this matchbox. It was really fun to make the 2 parts of the different worlds. Let me know in the comments down below, who is your favorite Stranger Things character? For me, it must be Hopper. All my social media can be found in the description box below, and if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos, and of course become part of the Raven family. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!